So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream on a Tuesday evening here in the UK. It's approximately 5 o'clock, so I'm a bit later than normal, but I've had technical difficulties, thumb difficulties and electronic difficulties as well. So welcome to Bunny's Designs. It's a live show recorded for Ustream.tv and also recorded for YouTube for people to watch at their leisure. And due to not being able to use my pastel pencils for the foreseeable future, I'm going to concentrate on colouring and playing with different software for my little Ugee. So this is a little Ugee frame, so I'll show you what it looks like in a second. But we're in Imagimorphia, and I've actually scanned in to my laptop one of the images, which is the Tutankhamun or Tutankhamun images. So that's been scanned in. So I like working in artrage. If I can find it here. So basically this particular, let me just move that book out of the way. Out of the way. So basically my little Ugee, which is here all the way around, is a screen that hasn't got any brains of its own, but what it does is it mirrors what I do. Oh, there must be something wrong with it. It mirrors, I cannot. It would be the left side. It does mirror. No, there's no mouse. Well, I'm not going to be doing a stream at all today. No, it's obviously broken. That's good for Ugee, isn't it? Ah, there it is. So you can see there's a little kind of, if I go on the dark, there's a little like a white dot there. And so what it does, it actually mirrors. So I haven't purchased this yet. I will actually do this tonight when I'm home. So I've tapped onto there. So, oh dear, what's happened there? Just bear with me. This is why I've been trying desperately to get YouTube, my live show for YouTube going. I do keep all my little things into here, so you get a little ink pot. Oopsie. You get an ink pot. So I would think that that would work without the. I didn't think it was run down. You get an ink pot to put your pen on, which is handy because nothing rolls about. You get a spare pen and other things as well. So let me see if I can be in frame. So I haven't technically bought this. Do I look like I might be in? So I might be in frame there. So that was good. I might just. Oh, I can't zoom in. If I zoom in there, it'll come up on the screen. So bear with me a second. Just see if we can zoom in one. But I won't see what that's done. It's going to be very complicated because I can't actually see what I'm doing. Nigel, could you do me a really big favour? I'd turn that light out and all the lights because it's a screen. Thank you, darling. Now, in a moment, I'm sorry about this. There's a lag. So when there's a lag, everything is a kind of a bit slow. Thanks. And with the other one as well, darling, please. The one that's up on the sky. So I'm sorry because what I've got to do is I've got to wait for the lag. Oh no, I might not have to wait for the lag. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can tap on that. Wow. Well, I can't be far away, so what I'm going to do is you tap on the file and open, and we'll save it, but I don't know what it is. And then we want Tutankhamun, and I call it Tut because I can't spell. No, I don't want to. Oh, cancel, cancel, cancel. No, I want to. Right, and we'll open that one. Sorry about that. So just see what the glare's like. Sorry about that. I'm sorry about the lag as well, because unfortunately I can't see what I'm doing. So how I work this is and I'll just pull that down a little bit because I want you to see what comes up here. I use this at 1%, and you have all your colours here. I have my sample up here, and these are all the colours that I've used. And I also have I don't know where it is. I use blending markers, which is that one, and it's looking very kind of, it's actually got gold on it and you can't see it. So I wonder if I could turn the brightness down. I wonder if that would help. So it's not quite as bright. Because it's not going to be that good if you can't see it. Now I bought this because it has a little lever at the back and you can lift it, and I work, that's the 100, so that's 100%. And I have this little circle here that you can just very carefully with your hand turn round. So when I will say, you can just move your hand very carefully in that kind of motion, you can actually turn everything so it's easy for your hands. There's no stress on your wrist or your hand, and believe me, I cannot have any stress on my hand at the moment, so I can just move very carefully a little bit, but I can still manage to colour. Now the colour is not right on here, so bear with me 2 seconds. I have to just adjust this, I think. Oh dear. This may not work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to have to give in. Oh, you can see a little bit of colour now, can't you? Oh, that's better. Maybe I shouldn't have touched it. So we'll see what happens in a few minutes. Let me see if that's okay. Let's see. Oh, hi Terry, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Again, I've got to stop. I don't want to cancel, I just want to tap on there. So that might be a little bit better. Let me see if I can brighten that up then now. So that means that you can just, oops, I'll just take that off. So this is, and then if you tap that particular button there, it'll go straight to it. So does that look okay, guys? Can everybody see? Is it kind of, it's quite nice. Oh, it's not really perfect for me, but I think that's actually a better angle. That's a better angle. What I need to do is to get my hand comfortable, and then I'm not moving my shoulder about too much. I'm going to just double check to see if I'm in frame, because I moved about a bit then. And I'll talk a little bit about artrage. So if I was on OBS on YouTube Live, you wouldn't see the hand and you wouldn't see the pen, you would see the little cursor. There's a tiny little cursor, and that's what you would see. Yeah, the light's gone again, sorry. Now I bought this one because you can lift this very carefully. There's a little lever and it's very, very easy to use. So across the top there's all sorts of things, but basically I have a little picture here that shows what's going on when you're drawing here. And this is if you've got a colour page, or if you're drawing your own image, or if your own painting, whatever you're doing comes up here. I just happen to have this colour page. I seem to have lost the colour, so maybe I should take it down again. Maybe it worked because it was down. We'll see how that goes. Can everybody see that okay? Does it look okay? So on the bottom here we have colours. So if you tap the blue you get blue. If you tap green you get all the greens. If you tap reds you get all the reds. From bright reds to orangey reds to yellows to teals, purpley blues, and over there purples, pinks, and then we've got back to red because red's back over. These are orangey reds and these are reddy reds, so they change. So that's kind of in the bottom corner here. Then in this bottom corner here is all sorts of tools to use, but I'm going to show you how I find it's easiest to colour. So I've tapped the pen, and if you go into settings, which is a little square, I've got it under not much pressure because I can't really do a lot of pressure. If you turned it up, you would get a bigger kind of mark. I have it there because I kind of like that. So that's just sliding it across, and that's pushing down because the pen is pressure sensitive. So when you push down, you get a lot more colour. So I normally have it about 50. I like it quite a damp, blendable pen. So I'm on blendable markers down here. So the wonderful thing about this is you tap back and it takes everything off. And that's taking it back to how it was. Now I work at 300, and if you push the pen down, now if you were normally using it, you could use your little thumb, so you could use your thumb to push it down, and it's like a right click, but I can't, so I have to push mine with my top finger. And it's a very soft, again, I was really impressed how soft it was. It feels cheap and nasty, and actually that's quite nice. So if you hold the touch the pen, push the button, it moves the entire page. So it's so much easier for you. I've made a little red mark there. So I'm actually going to tap on the yellow gold because that's where I'm working. So when you've got your colours, I tap them up here to make a little palette. So every time I tap up here, I've got some colour. So all these colours are the ones I've used for some of these at the moment, and I've got to make sure I'm back into frame, so bear with me as I apologise. So just have to make sure that I'm back in frame. If I'm not, I'll move it slightly. So basically I was colouring this in, and that's quite a nice little angle for me, but it's better the other way. So if I turn that right round, and the beauty of this is you get it exactly where you want it. Whoops, says she. Then you move it to where it's comfortable. So I kind of rest my hand here. It's very comfortable, that, and I can just move a small amount. Now I have mine at 1%. I have a very fine nib, and we're on the purples, so we're on the blues there. So again, I stroke some colour across, and I'm just sliding it across. Just make sure that I'm in frame for this. And it's actually smudging the black line as well. And it's just little tiny movements. So I'll just do this little bit here, and then we can see if we can. And then I would put a little bit of brightness in the middle. So this is how I would probably work if I could use proper markers. And there's absolutely no pressure on your hands at all. You're sliding a little plastic pen against a screen. So can everybody see that? It seemed to have frozen. Hopefully everything's fine. There is a bit of a lag. Well, there's a double lag because unfortunately, so I had the highlight on the top bit, so we're going to have the highlight here. So we kind of just slide across there a little bit. Not too much because you're going to lose that lovely blend. And then I want a very light, the lightest blue, to just give a bit of a highlight on there, and that's enough. And if you're not sure, this is going to be a bit of a jump, so don't be frightened. If you tap that, it automatically takes it back upright, and tap from 300 to 200 to 100, and that's what your picture looks like. So that highlight is almost perfect. It wants a little bit of a play with it. This is not an easy fix. This is not a big cheat. This takes hours to do. It's just using another medium. So again, I want the blue, and this is really easy to do. This is called artrage, and it's a really nice, pleasant, fantastically easy on your hands. I mean, if I can do it without a thumb, anybody can do it. I taught a little girl to, well, I say a little girl, I taught a young girl to do this in, well, she had it in about 5 minutes. And there wouldn't be a lot of a shadow on this one. And I think that's the bug. And this is all you do. And if you make a big mistake and go over the bug, you just press back. One big tap, or little taps if you make a lot of, if you've made quite a few mistakes. So I just want a tiny little bit of highlight on there. But obviously we've got a bit of a shadow on that bit, and then just a tap and a tap. And blend it. Blend is probably slightly better, and then we can go back in with that rich blue. And I've lost it now. I can either go back and see if we can get it back. Oh, I like that one. I'm going to leave that one in. It's just this one I've kind of I need to just blend it out a little bit. Again, it's not easy. You still got to use your artistic skills. Oh, do we seem to have frozen? Oh, I know what I didn't do. Bear with me 2 seconds. I know what I didn't do. I didn't do that. I always forget that. Sorry about that, guys. That should be better. Oopsie. So I hope you can see that. Does anybody just tell me if you can? Oops, I don't know what I've done now. That's better. Hopefully things are okay. No, that's not right. Oh dear. So I sometimes get a bit confused. It's better to do another blue one there. So again, I turn that so it's an easy angle. So again, it's not quite there. Oh, the laptop's playing up now. How nice of it. Got to be easy for your hand, because if it's not easy, you won't be able to do it. You're just stroking very carefully. So I got the darker blue. just popping a little bit of colour into there. So if you've got any questions, I'll just pop that down there and see if that's made it any better. Oopsie, I've caught that pen top. Didn't really want to catch that. So we've blended that. And then we want a little bit of a paler blue. No, I'm not happy with that. Take it all off. Not happy with it. Now, not sure if you can actually see that. But the best thing is there's just no pressure on your hand at all. And then we just want to change the colour to the palest purple so we can have a little bit of highlight. And then the palest one for just that tiny little bit of highlight to come out. And then we can turn that very we go back to the golds. Do we have the gold colour? I think I've used a bit of a darker gold. So sometimes if you have everything just near, you don't have to move far. And it does take me a long time. If you were faster with a pen, then you would be faster, but I like to just take my time and get that colour on. Like you would with, I actually use this like I would an oil paint or an acrylic. I get the colour on, and then I put the highlight on. And then I put a shadow, low light. Now that looks a bit dark. Oh no, that's the one. So that's the shadow. And what it does though, this particular, actually what it does, it blends and takes out the black line. So I've got that one. I want a very pale colour now to just give that a bit of a highlight across there. And you can just, like you would with any oil paints, you need to put your highlight across the middle. Just find that a little bit difficult. Don't know why I haven't got a very pale yellow, but just have a look. So what you can do is to go back over here and tap lighter put the plus, and that's given me a paler for a highlight. Sometimes you want the highlight to kind of be really with it, and sometimes you don't. It still looks quite bright, that, but I did mess with that. So if we put the colour back and the brightness back, we might be okay. And whatever you do here, even though it's kind of 400 or even 500, even though it's very, you can't see what's happening, you can always see here what's happening. So this is a blue, a Tapler blue, and it's hurting the wrist, so we want to turn it just a little bit. Whoopsie, too much. So you're just sliding that across. Now this particular thing is a bit painful actually, so I'm going to have to leave. I'll do this one, then I'm going to have to stop because it's too painful. I'll have to do a straight bit, the curved action, but you use the pen like you would like you would an ordinary pen. You just stroke round, and then at this side you stroke that way round, and what that gives you is a natural curve. And you're building up colour just like you would on a page, but we can actually build up oils, and we can put all sorts of paints on all sorts of other paints, mixed media, and it will be fine. So that is quite an awesome thing to be able to do. So again, just I'm going to just reduce that to 100, press the little button so she's automatically upright, and then move her so we can see her, because that's just that too much painful at the moment. So let me see if something else I could possibly do. We could carry on with this particular, and if you can see the light goes up there. So again, I'm going to turn around, turn her that way, sorry, I'll turn her that way, and we'll put her there, and we'll enlarge her again and again, and we'll work round. It's not too much of a curve for my hand, and that's all there is to it really. You just keep tapping your colours and stroke the pen, and again mine looks like a marker, but I've got mine as a very, very wet blendable marker, and you just very carefully, I think that's the most comfortable position for me. And I just use 2 fingers to you could just move it with the 2 fingers like that, so you're not moving your hand at all. If you're doing this, sometimes you're using that kind of a muscle. But it's certainly not like taking pen tops off, which I can't even get a pen top off. but it's very, very, you don't have a lot of pen tops to worry about, you don't have a lot of pens to worry about. It's a fairly easy way to colour. And they're all little tiny strokes, which is quite nice. I mean, you can push down if you want to. You could push down and get different effects, but I've learnt not to do that. One is it hurts your hands, and the other one is I like to use this like I would use 3 or 4 different colours for blending. Normally 3. Sometimes I put a highlight on to make it a bit shiny, especially that this is gold. So I just very carefully stroke that across. And I actually have a natural highlight here, but I'm just going to go very carefully over that bit there. And then put the lightest one in, and the lightest one is going to change. But this is quite good because Kerby Rosanes actually put the highlight where it goes. So you're just following around. You do lose it if you over colour it though. But I sometimes like to take off all that black colour and take it to there. And then we can have an even lighter highlight. To show that it's pure gold. And you're building up your highlights and your lowlights. And you're just sliding that across, so it's quite nice. Has anybody got any questions? I'm at a real loss at what the internet is actually doing, which is why I was going to try and do this on Ustream, sorry. And every time you tap here, it changes the colour here. So we've got the colour and the tone. This is all colour and this is tone and shade. And so you can build some quite nice highlights on there. And we can even tap a highlight, a paler highlight, again just to give it a bit of reality. And really make those darks quite dark. just slowly building up that really subtle highlight and sheen. And again, move it down so it's in your comfortable position. Well, that's mine, so I know I need to move it up and turn it round. So again, I've got that natural bit of movement, that small amount of movement I've got. So we want a gold. And we can just keep going and building it up. Oh, I'm having such a bad day today. This is getting extremely painful. Even just doing this, today's been a very bad day today. So I shall do just a few of these, but I can't do what I normally do, so apologies. I may have to stop live streaming and just do a few videos and then see if my daughter can edit them and get them uploaded. I just have to see what happens. But this is finding it extremely painful, so I apologise if there's some grunts and groans. No, the wrist will not do that. So let's have a go with something else and let's try something completely different. Let's learn something new. Let's learn how to do it with the opposite hand. Oops. One of these pens has got a slight kink in it. So if I can learn to do this, that might be actually better. And if you do make a mistake, you can just press the back button. So actually that makes me feel a bit more comfortable. What I would do though is I would put this on that side and that on this side, because so I'm going to do that. I'm going to push the button down and push that over there, push the button down. Come on, you know you want to move, thank you. Come on, all the way over here. So we've got my colour sampler there. We've got, come on little, oh, come on, move, you know you want to move. Right, so we'll get rid of it. Cancel. We'll get rid of that, and then we'll bring it back. Oh, I missed it, sorry. Tap it. That's it. Come on, all the way over there. Sometimes my hands don't work very well, so that's okay for me. So that's our little chart there, so that's showing you what's happening. That's slightly better. So I've never done this before, so bear with me. Where am I going? Oh no, I don't press down, do I? So you don't press down when you're using this. Right, so this is going to be very weird. Colouring, right-handed. Yep, that's slightly better. Slightly better. So we tap to highlight here. And Bennett, I did it again, sorry. Kerby Rosanes got this highlight. This is the highlight. This is the highlight. So you know what you're doing. So you know the The highlight is going to turn round here. This is a rather weird sensation. I could not do this with a brush, or a very, very difficult. I've done it once with a brush, but I've never done it with this pen. But actually it's behaving itself. So I probably have now become ambidextrous. Now that has just saved. I don't think I'd do this with pastel pencil though. It's not much better for the paint. Well, it's a light is actually, but this one still hurts, but not as much. I've just got to remember not to use the thumb. So again, I'm in the way here, but if I was doing this on YouTube Live, you would only see the little cursor there. You wouldn't see my hand or the pen. So I don't know if that's a better thing or not. Sometimes I don't always see the cursor when I'm watching somebody. But you can't learn much from this. The best way to do it is just use it. I was quite fortunate hubby bought this for me because my hand stopped working. So we've got the highlight, but then we can just kind of team a bit more of a highlight on that bit there. So let me see if I can. I did turn that down, didn't I? Yeah, it's on 0, is that? So it's very dark. So I'm hoping it's picking it up, the colour. We just have a look now. Just might have to do this with my other hand. That one. I'll put that back up. And we'll put that down. We'll see what that one does. That might make it a little bit better. So hopefully that might make that tiny bit better, so you can see the colour better. Let's hope so. I can't really move it too much because I've got my other arm in the way. So we've got that nice bright highlight starting there. So what we want now is, see if the colour comes back a little bit. Oh, I've got 2, have I? Has it opened? Oh, it will have. I know why it does that. Sorry, I apologise. I know what I've done. Yeah. Nope. I'm hoping that's okay. Right, what have we got to do now? I'll tap the blue one and just. If you press down, you would get more colour quicker. But I am just literally doing like the pencil sliding across the top very carefully. Oops, there's she. Wrong angle, you see. So I need to get the blue there. And there is absolutely no pressure on that at all. So that's really, really good. Just, it's not like sliding it on glass. It's not that slippy. It's like sliding a pencil, but a chunky pencil over. And this is the first time this is the first time I've done this. So small, steady little strokes is fine because obviously I'm technically left-handed, so we're on thin ice here. We don't want to be giving it some big strokes. So I work at 1%. I've enlarged it 3. I could enlarge it 400 or even 5. And that will give me it takes a lot longer. I'd prefer 300. It's just enough. It's just enough. If I'm doing a very small flower, I will enlarge it. But I quite like that. But you can actually see the colour appearing here. So that's quite nice. So we can have a really dark, rich blue behind here, almost a purpley blue. If you look on the actual photograph of the Tutankhamun mask, the colours change from purples to blues to greens. It's a fascinating colour. Now I'm being very boring and I'm just doing one colour. I've just realised actually I'm not doing it realistic. But the beauty of this is I'll show you the other ones that I've done as well. So again, just working on a section. So I'm quite impressed the fact that I can still work with my right hand. And then we'll just put that very, 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 very light highlight on that section there. I'm not sure if that's maybe too much, but you can always go back and change it. We just want that highlight possibly to go to that dip there, so we know that it's just that bit flatter there. So you can, and I'm working with blendable markers, remember, so that's why it's blending. I could do this in chalk, so in oils, in tube paint, in all sorts. I'm working in very, very damp blendable markers because that's what I love working in. I've done about 6 of these, I think. But the reason I want to do the videos is I'm learning, I'm not a professional, so I thought it would be a fun way to show people that anybody can do this at any level. So again, I'm going to tap the upright and then tap reduce to 100, which is its normal size, and you can see that highlight going round there. So that's what we've got so far. So of course, because I have no idea what's going on whatsoever. So I'm going to save this. You go to File and Save. So it saved it. So I can go to this one. Oopsie, here, and I can open. I can import a lot of the Bennett Klein's books that I've scanned in and bought. And there's Harry Potter ones as well that I've done, and there's something else that I've done there, but I was looking at some that I've actually finished. They should be at the top. So this is the file where you import so go to Save Pictures. No, I can never find anything. Bennett Klein books. There we go. Artrage. So we've got the mouse page. So this is the young lady on the mouse, and again I worked at 300 and drew every line, recoloured the eyes, coloured the dress, the ears, changed the direction of the shadow for the tail. This took a long time to do this. Putting the highlights on the feet, and then that's what it looks like. So that was then we have the fox painting. The mouse. Oh, dear me. I don't want to save as, I just want to save. Let me just open this one. No, I didn't drink the other one, darling. No, thank you. I can save that one. Oh, it's not going to have it, is it? I'm just going to have to type in mouse. And we have the straw hat one, which I finished the other day. This is one I worked on away. This is another one that I've worked on. Again, quite a lot of hours. Butterflies, highlights. I did the bow about 6 times. I did the hat 3 times, and I did her face and neck. Quite impressed with these highlights here. And again, all these colours are here. The straw hat colours are in here somewhere, in there. They're the straw hat colours, and the greens. I didn't do a very good job because you can see that's there, but I quite enjoyed doing that. So again, we can import. And Badger Girl took a long time to do. Well, I don't know why it's... Oh, dear me. I'll just put don't save. So we had the frog lady. That was another one that I did. Again, enlarged it to 300. Redid every scale. put purple in the mouth, in the eyes, worked it in the eyes, then put different colours, worked on the legs for highlights. So again, there's a lot of work in, it's still a few hours, it's still quite a few hours. And what was the other one? The Badger Girl. The Badger Girl took quite a long time to do. So again, the blending, all the markings, worked at 300. All the markings on the glove. It's got a bit pixelated actually. All the markings takes such a long time. It's not quick. It's not quick. It seems to be a bit pixelated. I don't know why. And then when I did the sword and the buckles and all the little studs, I made them all. And the hair, I did all purple, dark purple, which I think it was the first one I did. All these dark purples here. And those tan colours there are all kind of in here. And did I do the yellow ones? This one with all the tans, all these colours here were all those colours here. And then the hair, blended it, but put all these purple lines in. But I quite like that. So I'm just going to finish on that because I think we've gone on for long enough, and thank you for watching.